Every Monday, I give them a call, see what's going on with it. And every Monday, it's your paperwork's been accepted, this and that. You've checked the boxes. We need to have you assigned to a loan officer so that we can get.
Welcome back, everybody. Joe Everest, the fence expert. Hey, one of the most common pieces of feedback we get about the Saturday morning live Ask the Expert segment is those things are long, and they're not wrong. They last about 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. Sometimes, a few weeks ago, Caleb and I got into a pretty good discussion about marketing. I think it lasted closer to 4 hours. Nobody's got time to sit through 4 hours of listening to a couple experts talk. I get it. So Jeremy's created a new segment just for you guys called Hot Takes. It's usually a shorter segment of the longer conversation, basically hitting the hot topics, if you will, of that live segment. So without further ado, here comes this week's Hot Take. And then you go on and say, I really think that we're going to try and stay heavy on inventory, but it really is a risk. And it's now the time for the risk. That's the thing is now the time. I don't know. So getting into our finances a little bit. So we're still waiting to be funded for the EIDL loan, the readjustment on the EIDL. Every Monday, I give them a call, see what's going on with it. And every Monday, it's your paperwork's been accepted, this and that. You've checked the boxes. We need to have you assigned to a loan officer so that we can get. So everything's like in the system has been approved. The system has approved it, but they have to have a loan officer actually put eyes on it because fraud is a real risk. They need to make sure that we're a real company, that our finances are real, the numbers are real, that we sent them, that they match the tax transcripts that they ordered from the IRS. It's a process, apparently. Now, a ton of people have already been funded on this, which has me just a little bit perturbed about it. But if you got a group of people, you got to have somebody first. You got to have somebody last. Not everyone can be first. Not everyone has to be last, but somebody's got to be last. I got a feeling I'm on the tail end of this thing. So EIDL, for those that don't know, it's a low interest loan from the government, from Small Business Administration. Key term there is it is a loan. It is 3.75% over 30 years with some deferred repayments, 24-month deferred repayments currently. So the ceiling has actually increased on how much you can take a loan for. Unfortunately, you cannot increase your limit until your first round is funded. So I digress. If the EIDL money was sitting in the bank, that would make this conversation a lot easier too. Now, granted, we're gambling with our own money. It's a loan that we took out, but it makes it a little bit easier to take that risk, I think, just knowing that it's money we hadn't counted on having available so we could tie it up in an inventory and be okay, without affecting cash flow. But it's a risk, when you look at the reports and you see the dollar sign of value that's sitting tied up in inventory, gives you a little heartburn. If you're me, it adds stress to my life, and I'm not trying to add more stress to my life. But there's a reward, right? Like this is the life of an entrepreneur. It's like I think I might be falling off a cliff, but I might be able to build an airplane on the way down, and it could end up higher than where I am right now. But I'm also stepping off a cliff. That seems to be my life lately. What do you think, Matt? What do you think? You said you really think we're going to try to stay heavy on inventory. That's kind of that's the way I'm leaning. I want this to be a group discussion though. So in the discussion, myself, my sister that runs our residential, my dad that runs our commercial, and he was our previous owner for years and years. It's times like this. I wish my granddad were here. I mean, he's seen some life, right? He's gotten us through a lot of sticky situations. I would love to hear his opinion on if this looks like something that he's seen before. But you play with the cards you're dealt, right? Don't have that option. So, because ultimately, we're making decisions that are that affect the company. So you try to take a poll from the leadership on what they think. However, it's also not a democracy. We don't vote. I think I'm with you, Matt. I think we'll probably be placing orders for to keep inventory up. We'll probably be doing truckload bids on or truckload orders for wire, pipe, post, and tube. Pipe and tube. That's the same thing, but wire, post, and fitting. We'll probably be ordering a container of fittings, knowing that a container from overseas won't be here for a few months. But that's okay. When it does get here, we will be in good shape. We don't need it right this second, but when it does get here, I think it'll put us in better shape. And things in India seem to be improving. So for those of you who don't know, so fence fittings typically come from the main three countries: India, China, Pakistan. Okay, your three forerunners in fencing fitting, chain link fitting suppliers. Can't do business with Pakistan, so that leaves us India and China. India had COVID 2.0 run through their country just rampantly, but things are improving there. So we actually lost communication with the mill in India that we had been talking to because everyone got sent home and everything got shut down. So I'm hoping that probably ought to send out an email to them this week, just seeing, hey, is everything okay? And are you guys back to making fence fittings? I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to continue this conversation. I think it's a big one, and it's a conversation that should not be taken lightly as far as stocking inventory. If you don't do it right, it could bite you. All right, guys, that concludes this week's hot take. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you like the format? Do you not like the format? Let me know in the comments below. We're still figuring this out, and we could use your help. But for now, I'm Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors. And I'll see you next time.